Hey, so Microsoft announced that now every single Xbox first-party game that releases will release day and date into Xbox Game Pass. So if you're not familiar with what Xbox Game Pass is, it's a service that costs $10 a month and you can download and play over 100 games, including Xbox 360 and original Xbox games. Now this was Microsoft's attempt at having a gaming style of Netflix as a service for gamers. Now, every new exclusive that launches, think about it, Halo 6, Gears 5, Sea of Thieves, Crackdown 3, Forza Horizon 4, State of Decay 2, so on and so forth, will launch directly into Game Pass. No need to buy the game at all. Now, some people might not like my opinion on this, and that's perfectly fine. I'm just asking that you listen to what I have to say on the subject. Xbox Game Pass is something that a lot of people will love. It surely adds bonus value to the service, right? Right? But doesn't it also devalue the Xbox exclusives even more? People already say that there's a lack of exclusives, and now they all launch in Game Pass day and date, which feels incredibly cheap, almost a free-to-play type of mantra. Now, what of all the developers who've worked hard to make these games? People can get a free trial, beat the game, and in 14 days you can move on. You don't even really have to subscribe or pay anything to play these games. There's going to be always ways that people cheat the system. Now, what's the outlook of the people who don't buy these exclusives now? We could see the lowest buy-in on franchises like Halo, Gears, Forza, and even the newer games in the future could sell terribly. This also means Microsoft will likely push heavily on the games as a service styles of games, meaning that Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2, Crackdown 3, etc., the games that you keep paying for Xbox Live Gold, as well as Game Pass, but there's a big con to this as well, as Microsoft can pull any of these games on Game Pass anytime they choose to. So let's say that you've invested 100 hours in the Sea of Thieves and they pull it, it then forces you to buy the game. Right, so some people might say, hey, I canceled my pre-order for Sea of Thieves or Crackdown 3 and picked up Game Pass. I'm invested into this game, and then they pull it, and now I have to buy the game anyway. What was the point? Well, the point is they hooked you in. That's the point. Honestly, the move here is actually pretty consumer-friendly from the initial looks of it. But if you're a tinfoil hat-wearing gamer like me, this is a huge shift in Microsoft going completely into Xbox being a service you can use on any platform. And that thought is a bit scary. Imagine playing Xbox Game Pass on PlayStation or Nintendo Switch or on some Apple device. All the positive talk from people who maybe don't completely grasp that Microsoft is actually looking to turn Xbox fully into a Surface. That's not a good thing. They took a big dump on retail outlets by announcing this news today. Why would you do that? Unless you don't really care about the box to begin with. Like GameStop stock took a drastic tumble today. What happens when these retailers don't want to push the Xbox anymore because Xbox is pushing digital? Remember how everyone was like, quote unquote, all these Xbox exclusives going to PC with Xbox Play Anywhere will just help us get more exclusives. How'd that work out for us? We've steady had less and less exclusives since they announced Play Anywhere. And speaking of services, Xbox Live Gold, the games we've gotten from that service have steady gotten worse and worse since Xbox Game Pass was announced to begin with. Probably because, in an ideal world, Microsoft would want us all to subscribe to Game Pass and Gold. I honestly think the general idea here is to get us used to not owning our games. Netflix. Think about it. You own nothing. Microsoft is actually succeeding in the original Xbox One's plans, and yet most people I'm seeing on social media are cheering for it. If retailers are being screwed over, who's going to be left to sell you an Xbox in the future? Unless Microsoft sees a future where you don't need an Xbox. Think about it. I'm not trying to come across as all doom and gloom. Sure, some people are already saying, but crap, it's an option, and options are good, brother. Or people will say, Microsoft is so far out in front of the other companies, it's crazy. Because I've heard that before as well. But again, these things are like deja vu, and for years now I've been hearing this. The bottom line with how I see console gamers is as follows. We like our traditional experiences. Sure, Sony changed things up a bit with the PS4 Pro, but think about this. Maybe it was a good thing for them not to make regular PS4 owners feel like less a gamer for not having a Pro. Whereas, there's probably some Xbox owners who feel Microsoft is pushing the One X a little bit too much. Now this is strictly opinion, of course, but Sony has really stuck to their traditional roots, and they've branched out a little bit, but they don't super advertise it. They're not super in your face about it. The thing that Microsoft this generation is that they seem to take 2 steps forward and then a giant leap backward. The Xbox One X is amazing, and Xbox Live is the de facto online gaming service, but are we tired of having so many services within our services? I kind of feel bad for developers who work so hard and their games, at least the major ones, could have a terrible sales because people got a free Game Pass trial and beat their game. Imagine if Halo 6 comes out and it doesn't break the top 20 in NPD. But Microsoft will surely talk about how they had a 0.24% increase in Game Pass usage that month. Like whoop-de-doo. Did anyone also mention what happens to collector's editions or special editions of exclusive games now? Because for some crazy reason, Sea of Thieves won't get a collector's edition. There won't be a custom console. Will any exclusives in the future get a collector's edition? It could be Microsoft is transitioning us away from consoles. Play Anywhere, keyboard and mouse support, DirectX 12, services that are usually only seen on PC. The future of them might be other devices or even PC, but I know it's not my particular game of future. I don't want that. Also, I know some people will say Microsoft needs to grow and adapt and change to compete. And I'd point out that Sony and the PS4 is a much more traditional take on console gaming, and that console is likely going to be the best-selling console of all time. Why? Because they stuck to traditional console ideas. That's what won them this generation. Now, I'm not switching to PlayStation. I'm not ditching Xbox. I'll be Xbox until it turns out to be a service on an Apple Watch download or whatever. But I just feel that Microsoft keeps trying to push these weird business agendas on gamers when the majority just want to be able to play their games on their preferred box. Sure, Xbox apologists might throw engagement numbers and subscriber numbers at me, but that means nothing to me. Absolutely nothing. This could be a typical crap gamer overreacting, quote unquote, but at the end of the day, I feel more concern over this announcement than joy. One thing I'd bet anything on, though, is that this move is the first start of a transitioning us to owning nothing and being completely dependent on services. And in my opinion, it cheapens the games themselves. I'm sure I won't be the only one who looks at it this way. Also, just to be clear, I do see some value in the service, and I think it could potentially lure people over, like if you were on PlayStation or something else. Probably some casuals as well. But you're going to be seeing a large amount of looky-loos who use free trials to play a game and then ditch it. And I also don't see like a ton of people sticking around with this service to increase like the player base and things like that. So I'm definitely concerned, and hopefully you guys understand that some of these concerns, and it's an open dialogue, and I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts on it. Let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.